What's going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we've got a Chicago Bulls and Toronto Raptors injury report to bring to you guys ahead of our next game against the Toronto Raptors. We've got a back-to-back coming up, both of them away from home. Obviously, look, it's a tough ride. You're traveling all the way to Toronto, then you're going back to Detroit right afterwards. It's difficult for the Bulls. I'm not going to say that it isn't going to be difficult for the Bulls, but at the same time, we are in a circumstance, in a situation now where you got to keep on winning, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to win. This is win now mode. DeMar DeRozan said a quote recently that he has to treat, or the Bulls have to treat, every single game like a game 7. Well, if they need to do that, then it's time to win, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what we're going to have to try and do against Toronto. Not an easy team to verse. And obviously with their unique style that they play against us, it could be much harder to beat this Toronto Raptors team as well. Or if everybody brings what they need to bring to the table, we could force Toronto to change up how they play against this Bulls team. I'll talk a little bit about that later. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show. Turn notifications on. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and whether or not you think we can walk away from Toronto with a big victory on our shoulders, as again we just continue to strive forward. Let's hope that the Bulls do not crumble. Let's hope that the Bulls do not fall, because we've seen it every single time that we've been on a solid win streak, or even just a minor win streak like we are on now. It can fall flat. We can disappear from what we used to see. And I've enjoyed the two games. I enjoyed the Wizards game and the defensive mindset that we brought to that. I enjoyed everything about the Brooklyn Nets game. Every single bit of it I enjoyed. But it's about not falling once we've seen how good this Bulls team can be, defensively and offensively now. So, yes, it's a big game against Toronto. I don't expect us to win, to be honest, but I'm still hopeful that we can, and we'll wait and see what ends up happening. Let's talk about the injury report for the Chicago Bulls and the Toronto Raptors. Very, very minor injury reports for both teams, if I do say so myself. Obviously, the normal Lonzo and Javonte are still going to be out, but Goran Dragic is also going to be out once again, and it's basically, he's going to be out for the next 2 games, at least from this point in time. He's not travelled with the Bulls, I believe, to Toronto, and he's not going to be travelling with the Pistons as well. Or if he is travelling, he's not playing those 2 games. It was due to a knee injury, and I don't think it's major, because I haven't really heard anything major about it, but he will be missing the next 2 games. So hopefully Goran Dragic can get well as soon as possible so he can return to this team. I know he doesn't play a lot of minutes, but he's still, in my opinion, a good asset to have off of the bench. Again, for foul trouble purposes, if guys on our team continue to foul, we are one of those teams that love to foul a lot. Well, then at the end of the day, with Patrick Beverley and Caruso on there, if those guys get into foul trouble, Goran Dragic can come in with some of our other guards that we've been playing with. We are very much a guard-centric team, so I don't think we'll miss him too much. But at the end of the day, it's always nice to have that extra boost off of the bench if need be. And that's really it for the Bulls injury report. Moving to the Toronto side, they only have one injury that is, it's been there for a while now. I believe it was January 10th that this happened, or it was reported that he would be out for the whole season, and that's Otto Porter Jr., former Bulls player. He had season-ending surgery. I'm stumbling now, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, yeah, he's out for the rest of the season, essentially. Last time we did play the Toronto Raptors, I believe Otto Porter was there. It's been that long ago. So, again, both teams are relatively healthy. Again, all the best to Otto Porter. I've never really had, I guess, too many bad things to say about him. All the best to him. All the best to Goran Dragic as well. And hopefully Goran Dragic can come back into the team, and we'll see what happens with Otto Porter in the off-season. But yeah, this is a big game for the Bulls. If you don't know how Toronto play, they play completely differently to every other team that decides to play us on a regular basis. What they did in those first 2 games, off of a back-to-back, I'm pretty sure as well, they double-teamed DeMar as soon as he got the ball. There was no space to breathe for DeMar DeRozan. So essentially, if DeMar DeRozan was bringing it up, they'd let him get past half court, and then bang, double teamed. You're not gonna get a shot off. You're not gonna beat us from the mid range. You're not beating us at all. So they forced DeMar DeRozan out of the game, and they also forced other Bulls players to step up in I guess the absence of DeMar DeRozan. That's what we saw in those 2 games. What we saw in the first game was the Bulls didn't handle the pressure well. The Bulls obviously didn't expect what Toronto were going to do, and at the same time, they won the game. And their mission was successful. That was also without Zach LaVine in the lineup. The second game, Zach LaVine was in the lineup. This was at the time when you saw Zach LaVine not making back-to-backs because of his knee injuries and his knee problems and stuff like that. So the second night of that back-to-back, he decided to play for the Chicago Bulls, and he had an amazing game, and the Bulls stepped up a lot more, and Toronto did not win that game. So the way that I see this going, I think they're going to try to do the same thing this time out. They're going to try to double team either Zach LaVine or DeMar, depending on who has the ball more, and they're going to force other guys to beat them. And if they force other guys to beat them, there's only two scenarios that can happen. Some of our role players are going to step up to the plate. Patrick Beverley, Alex Caruso, Patrick Williams, Kobe, Io, everybody. They will step up to the plate and to the challenge and make sure that you make Toronto pay. And then from there, Toronto will have to make a decision on whether or not they want to keep on doing that game plan, because they did it all game in those two times out. Every single time down the floor, they did the exact same thing. So the Bulls have to either make them pay, or Toronto is going to make us pay by taking our best player out of the team, or multiple of our best players out of the team. So that's one way of doing it. Or Toronto will just completely abandon what they did in the first two games and play differently, because it's not the same Toronto Raptors team as it was a couple of months ago. Maybe they're in a situation where they can't afford to take those risks like they did at the beginning of the season. I'm not too sure how Toronto are going to approach this game, but I do expect at some point they're going to try and double team DeMar from the very beginning. So we're going to have to try and force them out of that situation and let them make a big decision on how they're going to approach this game, especially during the game as well. So it's a big game for the Bulls. Again, I see us struggling in this one. Toronto, very good lengthy team. Cause a lot of problems on the defensive end for sure. And they're one of those teams that are really good at deflections and steals, just like us. So this will not, in my opinion, be a massively high-scoring game. This will not be a game in which you will see the Bulls flourish offensively. I think this is going to be a scrappy defensive game. And let's hope that no one from the Toronto Raptors side bursts out and has a great game. And I think then we have that chance. But again, I'm not looking forward to this game. I'm much looking forward to the game after this, where there might be a little bit more offense to talk about. But either way, a win has to be the goal here. Ugly game, 1-point victory, or we win by 50. I don't care. A win is a win at this point. Let's wait and see if the Bulls can do it. It'll be nice to see the Bulls win away from home to keep that momentum and keep our confidence boosting for when we do come back to the United Center against the Phoenix Suns. That's a massive game for us. And I think you have to win 3 or 4 games in a row to build enough confidence to beat that Phoenix Suns team. Because where they look on paper right now, they look like a championship side in my opinion, especially when they're all healthy. So let's wait and see what ends up happening. But I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.